you can look at it two ways, and I get it.
It's a good
Houston,
way to look,
you're saying, man, look at what we did. We came back. We never gave up, and we got our way into the national championship down by 6 points with 55 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And Duke couldn't get the ball inbounds. I mean, like just a comedy of errors. And then if you're Duke, you're like, we blew a golden opportunity. They were right there.
Right there.
You talk about up by 6 with the ball, right, and 55 seconds. That's ball game.
Yeah.
You notice.
Uh-huh. And they got the ball to who you'd want it to. It wasn't like some random guy, take a tough shot.
Right. And here's the other thing. There's no other way of looking at it other than that Duke choked. It was a major choke job. You want to talk about the over-the-back call, please. You want to talk about, before you bring that up, how about the 2 field goals in the last 13 minutes? How about all the missed free throws?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I'm looking at. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where one call by a referee when you have a game in hand, you're up by 14 in the second half.
Yeah.
Put that game away. It was a major choke job, and I know a lot of people all over college basketball America were thrilled because they hate Duke. And here was another reason I hate Duke. What'd you see? That's what I saw, a choke job.
It was perfect timing, watching the game, dip out to go, catch it at the bar, walk in, and they're down like 12. And I walk in pretty much at where you're thinking, oh, it's pretty much a wrap, And when I tell you, I thought about this, and I have to give credit to Houston because your mind goes, all right, well, we could be out of this thing. They've got the best player, arguably, in college basketball. They've got just the momentum of being Duke behind them. Where our offense had been struggling for this whole game. They didn't look good. They were forcing shots. They didn't have – you can see the polar opposite of the two teams. Duke's moving the ball. Duke's getting good shots, swinging it, working within their offense. And obviously we have a big-time guy in Cooper Flagg. If you're Duke, Houston was getting tight, forcing it, one guy dribbling the whole shot clock, shooting bad shots. But then they locked in and said, you know what gets us here? Athleticism, high intensity, defense. All the videos came out and showed them what they do in practice. Every guy runs a 5-minute mile and all that. And that's what they did. And they forced their hand of Duke, and they did get tight. But I think really more than anything, they just start getting offensive rebounds. They being Houston, they just start getting the putbacks, and their just tenacity overtook the game. You start to look at 9-0 run during the stretch of 33 seconds. That's crazy. Again, they closed the game 25-8. And there was at one point where Duke had a 98.17% chance of winning, and they lost.
But they only made 2 field goals. Is what I'm trying to say. Is like you could look at I'm just saying the over the back on Flagg.
That was a bad call.
Okay,
but that wasn't the game.
That wasn't the game. That was
not
the game. If you're looking at that, calling that the game. 2 field goals. You just brought it up. What was the final? 25-8?
25-8 run in favor of Houston.
So that tells you. All right, you only had 2 field goals. They missed free throws. You can't miss free throws in a big game.
And they turned it over, going to the baseline a couple times. But the reason why I'm not mad if someone says that they choked, but for me, those turnovers were caused by great defense. They were shutting the ball off on the baseline,
but they weren't ready for what was to ensue. To me, that's coaching. Like you can't tell me that you're shocked that they're giving pressure on the inbound. Right? That's to be expected.
But you know what we saw too, Rob? We saw the difference between a bunch of young guys and a bunch of grizzled veteran older guys. And that was something we saw because throughout this tournament, we've been seeing those older teams. We've been joking about it. These dudes 22, 23. You've heard me say, man, I know I went to high school with that kid. But we saw a little difference there. Houston, a little bit older guys, a little more grizzled, a little more, we've been through, as far as we can play in this tough environment. And people forget, Kelvin Sampson has won more tournament games in the last decade than anyone else. So, again, this isn't like, obviously we talk about Cinderella never makes the dance when it really comes down to it. This was a team that had been ready for war, if you will. And Duke got a couple looks I'm sure they wish they had back. Cooper Flagg, notwithstanding that one, right up in the paint, kind of turn around. I'm sure he feels like if I get that.
Which one, the short one?
Yeah, the short one.
It was short,
yep,
right.
You give me that 10 times, I'm going to make 7 out of it.
But that's sometimes pressure.
You tight. When the cheeks clench up a little bit.
And then all of a sudden your shot is
short.
just a little short, that is a sign. I mean, that's
the cheeks were clenched. I'm not going to lie. The cheeks were clenched. But I look at the overall last, if you want to say 5 minutes of that game, I'm in favor of saying Houston went out there and snatched that thing. Give me this game. Give me your heart versus Duke just ultimately collapsing.
But you talking about the 98% chance of winning that game. That's where a choke is involved because you got to be able to inbound the ball, okay? Mm-hmm. Let them foul you, whatever it is. Make your free throw. You got to do that. That's the part of sealing games or winning. And I get it. I pick Houston. In the Fox Sports Radio bracket, I'm number 3.
That boy 3.
I'm number 3.
Tell him.
And I'm the only one with Houston. If they win today, I win the whole thing.
Do you get
I think Doug and Plank, right, are ahead of me. Plank and then Doug. But I'm 3rd, and I think Plank and Doug picked Florida.
Guess who just does not need you to win?
You?
Doug Gottlieb.
Oh, that's okay. Why? Because he's the college basketball coach, and I'm just –
he's never going to hear it.
Right. I've only been covering college basketball since 1986.
He is going to – let me tell you something right now. He is going to block you on everything because you're going to find a way to bring it up a million times until next March. Until we have the next bracket.
I will definitely bring it up.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
But yeah, so for me, I'm not mad if somebody says it was choked. That's kind of the sitting there. It's like, boom, they choked. I just thought Houston didn't give up. Houston could have been like, man, the crowd's going crazy. It's Duke. They're the Blue Devils. This is what they do. I guess it's just not meant for us to go. We're never going to make it. We're never going to win a title. Man, it's the curse. You had the curse with the Cougars with the fly slammer jammer. Maybe Houston just cursed. And I'd love the way they fought back. So I give a lot of credit to Kelvin Sampson, that team, and the way they pushed through. Because they can have flashbacks of Clyde and Hakeem sitting there. We got your calls, 877-99 on Fox.
All right, let's go. Greg in Florida. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Greg?
Rob, I agree with you. They choke. If you're up with 6 points with 30 seconds to go and you can't coach your way to a victory, that's a choke.
100%. I'm with you. You got to seal that game. There's something else. That is just one of those moments. And appreciate the call, Greg. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Joseph in Houston. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, fellas?
We're doing well. Great.
Hey, Houston won that game.
Yeah.
They won it outright. They played harder. And if Duke didn't watch tape on Houston, that's how Houston played all season long. Kelvin Sampson had them ready. They played 40 complete minutes. You can't play 35. You can't play 38. You have to play 40 minutes.
Joseph, I hear you, and I'm hear you. But when they give you the scenario and tell you it's 98% chance of you winning a game when it's set up, and you don't win that game, you've done something wrong not to win that game. And it doesn't mean that
See,
Houston –
this is why I disagree with you.
I'm dead serious.
They could have told you.
No.
You ain't going to make it out of Queens.
It wasn't like 50-50.
You ain't going to make it. You ain't going to be a writer.
It wasn't
you ain't going to be on
50-50.
radio and TV. You got a 98% chance you ain't going to make it. But what did you do? You pushed through. You persevered. And now I got to hear every day, that started in 1987. Steve, I got to hear that every day.
86.
Well, depending on the sport. This one, 86.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? You got to bump those probabilities, all right? We're winning this game. I'm taking your heart.
I'm
covered
college basketball when Mark Jackson was playing. How's that?
Dang, that is.
Think about that.
Ago.
He was a kid. He was in college.
Was he in Coming to America? I know that sounds crazy because it was a St. John's game. The game they went to was a real St. John's game.
I don't remember. Casey in Oregon. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Calvin. Hey, Rob. I got 2 things for you guys.
Yes.
First of all, that was one of the worst choke jobs I've ever seen.
Thank you.
You learn how to deal with the press when you played middle school basketball. That is completely on John Shire.
Right, but Casey, you got to know it's coming. Like you.
But with that being said, Rob, at the same time, though, that was one of the worst over-the-back calls I have ever seen.
It was bad.
We said that. We agree on that.
Yes, we agree with you, but you can't go.
But that was one of multiple things.
You can't go, Casey, 2 for 13, right? Two field goals in your final 13 minutes. You got to make free throws, and they turn the ball over.
Agreed, but I think those 2 things can both be said.
Okay.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Swallow your whistle.
Well, I do disagree with your first point. I think Houston took it. However, I get what you're saying.
Thanks, Casey. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yep. Chili Tim in Atlanta. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chili?
Chili.
Hey, what's up, Rob? What's up, Kelvin?
What's
How
up,
you guys
Chili?
doing,
Chili, you about to talk some sense to Rob,
Hey,
right?
Chili, don't forget, I'm coming down for that Dodgers-Braves game in May, okay? Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, I won't forget.
Okay.
I won't forget. Kelvin, I'm a proud UNC alum, so it's a great day for us.
Oh, I know you guys. Y'all are rolling around in
Right.
baby oil after
Oh, yeah.
that game. I mean, what?
Exactly.
Man.
But I'm like, your caller from Houston, Rob, he actually made your point. He was saying about, when they knew what was coming, they didn't get the scouting report. That's coaching. That's coaching.
Yes.
That's exactly. He actually made your point. He just didn't realize it. That's coaching. And here's the problem. It was like they went 25-8 within the last 9 to 10 minutes of the game. That's like a train wreck you see coming.
It's right
You
the whole
see
way.
the momentum coming, and you don't do anything to blunt it or stop it. It wasn't like,
Lucky shot or somebody chipped in a ball and you couldn't do anything. Right.
Yeah, you saw that coming 25-8 in the last 9 to 10 minutes of the game. You had a chance to coach that up and do something, shore that up. So that's John Shire.
But hold on, let me ask you this, Chili.
Coaching all the way.
Is that a choke job, or you just got out coached by a more senior
No, he
coach,
choked.
and also they just play harder? But why is that? What I'm saying is, why does that have to equate to choking?
Here's why it's a choke job, Kelvin, because you have the better team, the better players. That's why it's a choke job. If I give you something, if I'm giving you building a house, and I give you a full toolbox, and I give Rob just a hammer and some nails.
Okay, see, now you disrespect.
Right.
Boy, Kelvin Sampson about to call you right
And-
now, Chili.
and-
I ain't got that. You just gave him one tool.
That's
he
all
got
he
one
had.
tool now, Tim. You acting like it was a 9 seed. Come on, Chili.
No. But Duke was supposed to win that game, and
Duke
that
was
was
supposed to win that
exactly.
game. Yeah, no doubt.
Appreciate it, Tim. Thank you. How about Drew in New Jersey? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. It's a Magic City Monday, buddy. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Great, man.
So I think it's definitely an epic choke job. I think this is literally, as a coach, if you're a coach and you're a basketball coach, this is just like the worst of the worst. And it looked like everything that happened was, oh, it can't get any worse. And then, wait, he threw the ball to the other team.
Right.
Oh, wait, he hit another shot. So to me, the first step where they failed was when they noticed that they weren't going to intentionally foul the team. They should have drawn up a play, given the ball to the best player on your team, and had that as a contingency if they don't foul. What they did is they took a terrible shot with like 7 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Terrible shot. So you didn't give it to your best player. You gave it to a spot-up shooter. That's not really what he's good at, right? And then they hit a three. Why didn't you call a timeout immediately after that three? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of not calling a timeout, your player throws the ball to the other team. That made it worse. The over-the-back call, I get it, but is there challenging in college basketball?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a couple of plays they had the last few minutes where I was like waiting. Kelvin
That's
Sampson
a
did challenge
judgment
one.
call. I don't think over the back. I mean, who's determining?
Well, more so the timing, like
No, but
meaning
I'm just saying-
under a minute, under 2 minutes.
But I still don't like who determines. Somebody in New York in a booth is going to say that was or wasn't.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, that's a judgment call. Would you
Right.
agree?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's
but
it. I mean,
but they
we're-
review a lot. What went out of bounds? That's a judgment call.
Yeah.
Like,
No. But you could see like where it bounced if it hit the line or something. Here is just a strict judgment. I don't think you could do that.